A small silver rattle from ancient Egypt raises a surprising question. Why would people create such a carefully crafted object just to make a sound? This is a sistrum, an ancient Egyptian ritual instrument. It was not simply made to create music. Its shape, decoration, and inscriptions show that its sound was connected with religious ceremonies and powerful goddesses. But how can a small silver object reveal such a large story? The answer begins with what we can still see today. This sistrum was made during the Ptolemaic period, between 332 and 30 BC, when Egypt was ruled by Greek-speaking kings who continued many ancient Egyptian religious traditions. It is made of silver and measures less than 30 centimeters in height. Although it is small enough to hold in one hand, every part of its design carries meaning. At the center of the object is the face of a goddess with cow ears. This image is known as the Hathor or bat emblem. Hathor was one of Egypt's most important goddesses, associated with music, joy, fertility, and divine protection. The appearance of this emblem immediately connects the instrument with a world beyond ordinary sound. Above the goddess's face is a rectangular shrine-like structure called a naos. This is one of the most recognizable features of this type of sistrum. The object was not designed as a simple handheld rattle. Instead, it combined sound, sacred imagery, and the symbolic presence of a deity. But there is an unusual detail. Most ancient Egyptian sistra had metal rods inside their upper section, with small discs that moved when the instrument was shaken. Those moving pieces created the characteristic rustling sound. On this example, the upper section is not open, so the internal mechanism is not visible. However, 3 holes on each side suggest that crossbars may once have been placed there, allowing movement inside the sound box. This is where scholars begin their reasoning. They do not know exactly how this particular object sounded thousands of years ago. The original internal parts are not preserved, but by comparing this object with other Egyptian sistra, researchers can suggest how it may have worked. The evidence comes from the object itself, its shape, the holes in the upper section, and the long tradition of similar instruments used in Egyptian religious settings. The inscriptions provide another clue. Below the goddess emblem are damaged columns of writing. Time has left cracks and losses across the surface, making the text difficult to read. Scholars believe the inscription refers to shaking the sistrum for a goddess, and Hathor may be mentioned. But because the inscription is incomplete, we cannot know every detail with certainty. This uncertainty is important. Ancient objects often survive without the full stories of the people who created or used them. We may understand their symbols and their possible purposes, but we rarely know the exact moment when they were held, the exact ceremony where they appeared, or the individuals who touched them. What we can say is that a sistrum like this belonged to a world where sound itself had meaning. For ancient Egyptians, ritual sounds were not only entertainment. They could mark ceremonies, accompany offerings, and create a connection between humans and the divine. The gentle shaking of a sistrum may have been understood as part of a sacred performance, especially in traditions connected with goddesses. The small size of this object makes its story even more fascinating. It is not a monument carved into stone. It is not a massive statue built for eternity. It is something designed to move, to be held, and to produce a sound that disappeared almost immediately after it was created. Yet the object itself survived. Thousands of years later, the sound is gone, but the evidence remains. The silver surface, the goddess's face, the shrine-like form, and the damaged inscription all preserve a moment when music, craftsmanship, and belief came together. So why did ancient Egyptians create a silver rattle like this? Because for them, sound was not only something to hear, it was something that could carry meaning between the human world and the world of the gods.